Most of sales training, up until just a few years ago, was some guru's idea of what worked in sales, and he or she was just saying whatever came to their mind. But nowadays, we live in an unprecedented time where there's so much new data and science on what's actually working in sales. So in this video, I want to walk you through the latest psychology of selling, all of the new data. Check it out. Number one, they don't care about your features. The data is unequivocal. Salespeople that lead their sales conversations with the features of their offering are far less likely to actually close the deal. So what we need to be doing is, instead of leading with the features, we need to understand exactly what's going on in their world, what are the key challenges that they're facing, and then match those challenges with the solutions that we offer, never really focusing too deeply on the actual features of what we offer. Number two, keep it back and forth. What the latest data that we just came out with shows is that top performing sales reps are having much more back and forth conversations in sales. This means that it's not I have a monologue and then you have a monologue, or I just talk all the time and you listen all the time. Instead, it's literally this back and forth, much more like a ping pong match as opposed to just these long, slow interactions. So what we want to do is keep that conversation fully engaged, where you're constantly engaged and we're keeping them fully engaged by quick questions, really constantly going back and forth, almost like you're catching up with a friend that you haven't talked to in a couple of years. That's the kind of back and forth that we need to see. Number three, slow it down. What the data shows is that conversations by top performing salespeople are much slower in terms of the actual pace. That means that prospects are speaking fewer words per minute and salespeople are speaking fewer words per minute. The more we can kind of slow down the pace and create a comfortable conversation where we're just having a genuine back and forth, the more likely we ultimately are to close the sale. Because let's face it, when you're speaking to someone that you're actually comfortable with, suddenly the pace of the conversation slows down. We don't feel like we're in this rush to just say the next thing, but instead it's this constant back and forth that is at a comfortable pace. Number four, half aren't a fit. Know that. So what the data shows is that about half of prospects that you're going to come across are never going to be a fit. And it's really important to just know that. And that really changes the psychology of how we're selling. Because traditionally, most salespeople think I need to close every single person that I'm in front of. And that changes the way we think. It changes the psychology of our brain. But when we realize that half of the prospects that we come across are never going to buy from us, they're never going to be a fit. It doesn't matter if you're the greatest salesperson on the planet, they are not going to close. Once you understand that, the goal of the conversation isn't to close every single person with a pulse, but instead to determine whether the prospect that you're talking to right now is an actual fit for what you have. And if they're not, move on. Number five, sell like it's a game. We live in an age where sales really is like a video game, right? Think of what the typical video game is. Maybe you have kids, they're logging into the game, they're on the internet, and they're connecting with other people that are also playing this game. That's really what modern sales is. For any inside salesperson, it literally is that, right? You're logging into the internet and you're connecting with people that you're never going to actually see face to face. And quite frankly, even if you are seeing these people face to face in real life, it's still a game. Even if it goes horribly wrong, they're not going to remember you. They're not going to come up to you at the supermarket and start yelling at you, right? It's just a game. And once we determine that sales is really like that game, suddenly all of that pressure comes off of us to have to be perfect. And we are so much more mentally strong. And that's one of the keys of really feeling like you have control of any situation, recognizing that it's just a game. Number six, if you're enjoying it, then they will. This is a really important piece of psychology, because if your prospects sense that you're really not enjoying this conversation, they're going to know it, right? And they're going to want to end that conversation. Just think of any conversation you've ever had with a person at a barbecue who clearly is not wanting to talk to you, but they're just doing it because, you're right there. You sense it right away, and you want to end that conversation as quickly as possible. The same thing is true in sales. Now, you don't have to be saying, hey, I love this conversation, right? We don't have to be cheesy and insincere, but you must be enjoying the fact that you're just connecting with another person who put on their pants earlier that day, who had a conversation with their spouse, who had to talk to their kids, right? These are just people. And the more we can enjoy just having a conversation with someone. Now, that's not the goal, but you want to enjoy it along the way. Otherwise, they're going to want to end that conversation. Number 7, humans sense fear instantly. One of our deepest pieces of programming goes back to when we were hunter-gatherers, and we could immediately sense fear on another person. It's all over our face when we're nervous. We start to twitch, our voice trembles, we quiver, we react strangely, and your prospects will immediately sense the fear on you if you're feeling it. So what you want to do is just, again, put your mind at ease. Recognize that it's a game. There's no pressure to close this specific deal. You're just having a conversation. Enjoy it, right? All of the ideas that we've already talked about. Because if you are feeling and portraying fear, the prospect is going to know right away. Number 8, get them talking. Now, it probably doesn't require a PhD in psychology to understand that people enjoy conversations in which they're fully engaged, in which they're doing a lot of the talking, right? Think back to when you were in college or in high school. Did you enjoy long lectures where the teacher or the professor was just going on for on and on and on for hours? Of course not. Right? We want to be engaging our prospects in conversations where there's back and forth and where they're doing a lot of the talking. That's going to get them so much more bought into the ultimate solutions that we share at the end of that conversation. Number 9, link their challenge to your solution. This is the ultimate key here, is that your prospect is at point A. They want to get to point B. And between point A and point B is a very rocky road. And so you have the solution that can help get them from point A to point B. If you can demonstrate that you have that solution from point A to point B, they are going to make an investment, assuming that the ROI sounds right. So we need to link their challenges, all of those rocky roads, to your solution. So if they believe that you can help them solve their challenges, your solution is going to seem like a total no-brainer. So that's why we have all of these conversations at the beginning around their conversations about what's going on, about what they're looking to accomplish, all of that. And so that way we can ultimately link their challenges to your solution. Remember, this has nothing to do with the features of your offering. It has really, quite frankly, not a lot to do with what you're actually doing. It's so much more about the end solution that you are going to create for them. So there is the latest psychology of selling, all of the new data. And if you enjoyed this video, then I have an amazing free training on the step-by-step formula to closing more deals. Just click right here to get registered instantly. Seriously, just click right here. This is an in-depth training that will help you close more deals at higher prices, all while generating more meetings. Also, if you got some value, please like this video below on YouTube and be sure to subscribe by clicking my face, which should be right about here, to get access to a new video just like this one each week.